I would say that Smartschoolboy9 is back, but that would actually be a lie, because the truth is, he never really left. What really happened is that people kinda just got bored because he had deleted the main social media accounts that got him so popular to begin with. Additionally, the pseudo-sleuths and armchair detectives weren't really getting anywhere with their faux investigations anymore. Everything we had to know about this guy was found out. But he's been here. He's been here ever since my last video on him around a year ago now. So needless to say, there's a lot to cover, and today we're gonna go over everything that we know about David Stansfield, that's his real name, and what he's done in 2025. Before watching this, I would strongly recommend that you have a look at my other Smartschoolboy9 videos if you have no idea what we're talking about right now. Small chance of you actually being one of those people who's never heard of him, but I'll throw it out there just in case. I'll also be releasing a wee compilation on the second channel of all of my Smartschoolboy9 videos, edited down to a bit more of a convenient time and pace. That way you can really get the full up-to-date story, so keep an eye out for that, it'll be out soon. But above all else, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure a lot of you are subscribed from those original videos on Smartschoolboy9, but if you're not one of those people, then get on it now, you can become one. We'll start with some accounts that are linked to David's Facebook account, which of course the actual Facebook account is a whole topic within itself. Okay, so I'll show them all to you now, starting with this one. All of these accounts have the trend where they are very similar to the OG Smartschoolboy9 account. It's all sort of posing as young people. You know, whether it be boys, girls, just people who are still in school and are very young. The obvious theme is that none of these people are actually that young, and there's a lot of speculation as to whether or not a lot of these accounts are run by David himself. The way all these accounts are found are from various Smartschoolboy9 centered Facebook groups, which absolutely do have David in them, sometimes through multiple aliases, but again, we'll get into all that soon. But we'll start with this, right, because there is an important point to be made about all this. So you got Ella Mead here first, and then you've got Nicole Madison. This one's a lot more obvious and it's sort of fakery, but as you can see, it's using the very obvious sort of AI weird style that David is so in love with. There's another one here, a girl called Anastasia, supposedly with a whole sort of collage edited sort of thing. Again, very similar to what David does. And also in David fashion, you got some really pretentious sort of poetically written, I say in quotation marks, speech over there. Another one here, Masha Schooley, which is just a super obvious one. I think that's a My Little Pony character is the profile picture there, and you can see one of their posts, I love David, with a school and a backpack. This one I feel is a lot more likely to just be some deranged weirdo online who wants to be involved in the whole thing and troll like a sicko. And then here's another Facebook account directly linked to David. Now there are dozens of these, and a lot of people almost, I suppose, justify these accounts' existences by saying, well, they're obviously troll accounts, right? People just sort of trolling David, or parodies, right? Making fun of the whole situation. And as much as some of them might be that, when there's this many, like, let's be totally real with ourselves, a lot of these accounts are people who have similar interests to David and are, you know, doing the same thing that he is. There's a fine line between some weirdo troll with no life and a genuine 50-year-old fucking creep. That's why I'm not really a fan of any of these accounts' creation, to be honest with you. Like, there will never be a parody account of Smartschoolboy9 made and me go, oh, fucking unreal bit of comedy, that one. Ultimately, at like his most pathetic moments, he's a bit of a bumbling buffoon. Like in one of my last videos, we covered a bunch of voice messages that he was sending. He just went on a fucking like mental breakdown mode. And some of those voice messages were like, they made him a lot less scary, if that makes sense. Like he was super disturbing for that first month or two when he was about. And don't get me wrong, he's still a scary individual, but not in the same way that he was before. He's scary in that he doesn't really have any limits. Like the dude was living in a shared living arrangement with other people and coming into the home dressed like that, making video. Like imagine having Smartschoolboy9 as your fucking roommate. Some people didn't need to imagine it because they were living it. I'm just like really deep that for a second. It's insane. There'll be some footage on screen of like some of those older videos where he's just prancing about in his fucking uniform. It's like, this is what some people had to live with. You know what? This is actually getting super nostalgic because now I'm being reminded of how many idiots try to like contact these accounts and expose them or chat shit to them or troll them. It's like, you know, you're nowhere near as smart or clever or funny as you think you are. So you got this account here, again, very obviously fake. Hi, my name is Crystal. I'm 11 years old. Account monitored by mum. This is of course on the Reddit again, which the Reddit has, you know, provided a lot of good bits of information, but it's also home of so many fucking idiots. The title is The Degenerate Spoke to Me. And the screenshots just seem to be like this fucking cyber sleuth having like an actual conversation with the lassie. I say lassie, it's definitely not a lassie on the other end of these messages. I'm not even going to show these on screen for too long. Naz, just flash them up. If you want to read that, it's totally fine. I wouldn't recommend it. It's boring as fuck. It's not interesting at all. It's just some idiot contacting these people because it makes them feel cool and investigative. We really need to backtrack and flash back to those older videos I made and the guy. My rhetoric has not changed at all. Stop fucking contacting these accounts. No good will come from it. There is I really don't know how to stress it enough. There is nothing good that will come from messaging these accounts. Whether it is the real Smartschoolboy9, David Stansfield, or just some random fucking troll, or another miscellaneous 50-year-old fucking creep, nothing good will come from this. At best, you're wasting your time, and at worst, you end up sending genuine CP to them, which happened in my last video on Smartschoolboy9. If I remember correctly, during one of these, like, messages here, someone sent a genuine, like, I guess explicit image of themselves to David Stansfield. Only issue being that the person who sent said image was 17 years old, and just because it's a picture of yourself, it doesn't make it not CP. And David, he didn't fucking delete it, because of course he didn't. He's Smartschoolboy9. Now, luckily, I don't think this image was ever made public, because if it was, then that would be a real criminal, like, jailable offense for David. And he's been quite good at just sort of skirting around the law as much as maybe I don't think he should have been able to. Like a fine, at least, man. The way he's been let off scot-free completely is mental. But either way, let that be a little story as to why you shouldn't be talking to these fucking freaks, especially if you're a minor. Fuck me. Okay, here's a Stephanie Schooley Facebook account that was super popular for a time, but this got taken down. And here's the thing. This is the thing that I do think is good about the Reddit, is that it is a genuine form of video or post preservation. As corny as that sounds, is like all of these accounts have been taken down at some point. The original Smartschoolboy9 accounts have been taken down at some point, but they all live on through YouTube videos and the Reddit, and because a lot of the YouTube videos are sort of based on the Reddit or Reddit, a lot of the Reddits get taken down as well, to be fair, so it's not the best, but, you know, they are preserved through other Reddits. I mean, the internet truly is forever. But yeah, this account here, without doubt, is genuinely David Stansfield. Like, to a T, it looks exactly like something that he would make and has made. See, this is the reason why this is all so disturbing, is that that's a real fucking child in that video. You can't see their face. Doesn't mean David can. Like, he's cropped it a little bit, but that's a real child in that video. And there are plenty of other videos where the face isn't cropped out. Like, you can straight up see real children in a lot of these videos, and there's a lot of theorizing because a lot of these faces seem to be well-known on the internet, in fact. Well-known in the worst ways. I mean well-known as in they have been seen in certain Telegram group chats, and that's all you should really know. And if you don't know what a Telegram group chat with a child on it implies, then that's probably for the best. But yeah, you can definitely still see that David has this Stephanie Schooley alias on the line still. This is February 21st of this year, still doing the exact same thing that made him so infamous. And this is also the thing, it's like, this is not a guy who's going to rehabilitate or just chuck his fetishes in the bin. Like, this is the same guy who's been into this for fucking decades now. There's no sign of it ever stopping. I think that initial just push of fame and people shitting on him scared him. He shat the bed, he deleted his original social media account, the one that, like the OG one, but then he clocked, there's nothing that can really be done. I'm going to continue doing this. And the fact that people are watching and not able to do anything is almost making that thrill even sicker and more fulfilling, if that makes sense. Like, any sick fucking genuine freak's biggest dream is everyone knowing that it's them, that they're the ones doing it, but not being able to do anything about it. They've even taken the TikTok, by the way. I'm not sure. Again, this is a TikTok that was eventually deleted, but preserved through Reddit. I don't know if David himself is on TikTok. I think there is more of a chance with the TikToks, at least, that it's like some fucking random cosplaying as Smartschoolboy9 and just sort of ripping videos from Google Drives and Reddit and YouTube Shorts and stuff, and then plopping them on TikTok, putting one of them as a profile picture, and then using some generic sort of bio stuff from his Facebook post or something. You know, it's not really hard to impersonate someone like David, but that could be totally wrong, man. I wouldn't be surprised if he is genuinely on these TikToks, like the one running them. This one actually is still up though, and fuck me, man, like, it really is disturbing. Like this video, for example, which we'll probably have to blur. Yeah, okay, see, this is what I mean, right? Like, this is not the real Smartschoolboy9. He's not making fucking fan edits of himself. That's some weirdo who's made a fan edit and maybe it was ripped and put on this TikTok. I don't think this is actually him here. It's just a young boy who's hung himself, and he's holding 2 bits of bread, it looks like. Again, that's probably just a video ripped from some creepy corner of the internet. Can people stop impersonating this fucking bloke and on TikTok? How is this TikTok still up, man? What's super weird about this TikTok, for example, is that you got a bunch of comments here. Yes, girl, slay, from lyricist David. So there's like a whole community of these Smartschoolboy9 impersonator accounts. Oh no, this one openly says that it's an archive. So why would you be posting comments like that? But yeah, look, if you need more proof that I think a lot of these are fake, then here's another Stephanie Schooltime account. There's probably hundreds of these. Yep, he's still got this mini boots thing going on. Okay, now that was all almost playtime, because now here's where we get into the big boy shit. It starts with a Reddit user, so not too convincing so far, telling a story about how their friend met David Stansfield at the doctor's office. And this could be some random bullshit story. I've had a bunch of them message to me, and a bunch of them are like obvious fucking lies. But for this one in particular, there is an actual like recorded bit of evidence that David was at this hospital. And once you take a look at it, it becomes very unlikely, in fact, that it wasn't him. Like, it really does sound and feel as though David was actually at this fucking hospital out and about. We'll get into this story real quick, right? Citing, and I swear to God, I'm not lying. Look, it very well might not have been him, and I'm fully aware of this. However, my friend spam messaged me yesterday telling me that she was waiting in a hospital in Mitcham, and in the waiting room was a man with a striking likeness to Smartschoolboy9. I fully thought she was lying to me until she sent me a voice message in which you can hear him talking in the background, and it again sounded very familiar to the voice in the videos. However, obviously, with a lower inflection, as he wasn't doing the whole schoolboy thing. Obviously, you're going to want to hear this recording after that message, so here you go.
If I knew what team was going to be so well, can I speak with team and Carol Thompson?
Alright, I'm not taking the piss here, which I know a lot of people might think I am, but that second, the first one's bullshit, right? We know that, but they're not talking about the first one. Listen to that second voice come in. It sounds like fucking pitch perfect to David. Obviously not the OG videos where he's putting on the Smartschoolboy9 voice, but you know those voice notes that we were looking at a while back where he's just chatting normally? Well, I say normally, he's putting on a bit of an accent, but you can hear his real voice through it, and that really does sound like him. I'll play it one more time, just the second half this time.
So can I speak with team and Carol Thompson?
I really do wish that the voice message was longer, but if it is real, then we know that he's in London, I guess. What's also interesting is that this friend works at a mental health hospital, not just like a physical one, so he's not gone in for a fucking COVID test or anything. Maybe we can take some solace in the fact that he maybe is being monitored to some extent at some sort of mental health hospital. You'd hope that it's related to his activity online, but who really knows? Gotta remember as well that he looks exactly like David Stansfield, according to the girl that this person's talking about. You know, not 100% proof by any means, but it is rather compelling. Here's another sort of flashback to those OG videos. Let's not, like, take anything as definitive fucking proof unless we absolutely know about it. Or the evidence itself is, like, ridiculously compelling, because there was so much shit that people would just believe willy-nilly. Like, there are YouTubers who would get messages from people about David and just immediately believe it and parrot it on their channels with no critical thought. There's people on the Reddit who would say, oh, I met him, I found his new account or whatever, and it's just some fucking random, and everyone will believe it, and it just causes this whole shitstorm. Let's not have that happen again. This is compelling, for sure. I'm inclined to believe it, but it's not 100% true. He moves quite quickly, actually. That's fucking impressive. But like, oh man, it really is difficult. It really is easy to remember, rather, like, just how fucking deranged he is. He's in public. There's no green screen here. He's walking about like that. Also, did we ever figure out what the fuck this was? Like, that thing he's doing with his fucking tongue. There's never been an explanation for that. He just, again, it must just be some weird, niche, fucking sick fetish. I mean, of course, there's this infamous video here of him literally wanking in front of a mirror. I'm obviously not going to play it because the video itself has, like, the noises that he's making and everything. It's fucked up, man.
Sorry, I got there.
Look at the hashtags on this video, by the way. Hashtag don't flop. Don't let this one flop. You can't let a masterpiece like this one just sort of swift under the radar. What's with his camera positioning? I think he's obviously... You know what? I was gonna say he might be a bit embarrassed and doesn't want to fucking vlog the whole thing like a pretentious wee idiot. But how could you possibly accuse a man of being embarrassed of vlogging when he's out wearing that? I do think this is an old video though, so I'm not gonna act as though this is something from this year. Someone also found a really weird Instagram and eBay account where they seem to be trying to sell things, but the collages and the videos do look a little similar to Smartschoolboy9 and how he, you know, decorates his videos and stuff. There's a lot of high heel mini boots as well here. If you look at the comments, it's like me when I love school and I'm getting into some lore. There's a lot of people here talking about Smartschoolboy9 and how similar this is. Wrap it up, about Smartschoolboy9, we know it's you. Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives off those vibes, but when you look at the actual sort of eBay here, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. And you can see here, this is very Smartschoolboy9-esque. Like a really awfully edited collage with those mini boots down there. I think this is a lot more likely to just be some weird warehouse in China somewhere where they love child slavery, not being able to sell any of their clothes and using this as a last resort. I don't think Smartschoolboy9's actually fucking, you know, marketing all this shit. Definitely weird nonetheless. I understand why the theories are about. But like, you know, there's a whole heap of these Instagram accounts. Again, Naz, on screen right now, I'll scroll through a whole bunch of them. There's just no way that he has all these. Like, again, there's a lot of fucking weird creeps either impersonating him or are very similar to him in terms of their overt interest in mini boots or children, in fact, at worst. And a lot of people who just like that sick thrill of maybe they like being thought of as someone who might be him. They get some sort of sick thrill out of that, or scaring people. A lot of these are undoubtedly 50-year-old creeps, but just not David himself. Like, yeah, look at here, and like, Smart Schoolboy, this is fucking mental. Like, there's so many of them. There's no one in the world who is able to convince me all of these are David fucking Stansfield. And again, this is a fucking fraction of infinity. Those words won't do you justice type shit. Okay, now let's actually have a look at the David London Facebook account, which needless to say has had a lot of changes done to it since my last video on him. As you can see, the name is still David London, but we know that's not his actual name. It's David Stansfield. It's not David Alter, which a lot of people have been calling him. I mentioned this in one of my videos, but like, anyone who genuinely believed that the guy's real name was David Alter because a bunch of TikTok comments said it, and he said that his name was David Alter, I think that it was incredibly silly. And I think that's another just sort of aspect of misinformation, how easy it is to spread on the internet and how easy it is for people to just not think critically. Like, the name David Alter is clearly a fucking alter. He's not Usain Bolt. He doesn't just have a weirdly specific or coincidental surname. No, he was clearly going by David Alter because Smartschoolboy9 is, in one way or another, an alter ego, and he's clearly one of these weird sort of pretentious poetic twats who thinks of shit in that way. Like, he looks at the world through the lens of alter egos and like and postmodernism and all this shit. Like, he probably thinks he's some intellectual. But no, the guy's real name is David it's not David London either. That's another alter, I guess. But we do know that this is his actual Facebook account. And the new bio does mention Smartschoolboy9 as well as being scammed, winning despite being scammed in 2024 elsewhere, the same time as a now famous young Schoolboy9 was. And he's making posts as recently as November. This is him driving to Maybe I'm Amazed by Paul McCartney, which sucks because I hate that he has almost good music taste. But as you can see, collage-wise, editing-wise, very similar to Smartschoolboy9 because, well, he is. Obviously, I can't play the video because it's copyrighted, but yeah, imagine Paul McCartney behind it. But never mind, I think we do need to play a little bit of it because he's actually voice-overed his own lyrics over it. In this video I made, I'm singing upon one of the greatest ever guitar solos, specifically Maybe I'm Amazed by Sir Paul McCartney. Hopefully my vocals complement the guitar solo in this live recording. I created some basic lyrics, and they are... You know what? I'm not even going to say them. I'm going to play the video, and let's see if you can fucking decipher what he's saying here. Okay, I'm so glad we actually played that video and didn't just sort of skim by it because holy shit. I mean, if you needed any evidence that this was in fact David Stansfield / Smartschoolboy9, then there you fucking have it. And that was November, by the way, of this year. That was less than a month ago that video was posted. And looking at it now, there's no way he's actually driving that car in any of the footage. It's just, again, footage ripped from the internet and he's voice-overed it like he does with so many videos. He used to do this thing where he would take videos inside of his school, but obviously he wasn't at the fucking school because who would see Smartschoolboy9 dressed in all his makeup and his clothes and go, oh, yeah, come in, mate, we'll teach you a Pythagoras theorem with all the kiddos. But he would record himself in like a hallway of his home, and then it would cut to a school from the shot of someone recording, right? So it would look as though he was in this school, and fucking idiots would believe that he was actually in one. He did the same thing with children running one time, where like he would record himself running, and then it would cut to children running.
Who he then proceeds to chase after giggling all the while.
Yeah, it's very obvious to anyone who knows what they're looking at or knows anything about basic editing that he's not the actual person running after these fucking children, but it's, you know, an edit. So he likes doing these things. He's been doing it for years now. Oh, again, I guess we missed the lyrics. I'm telling you, darling, that life is so good. I'm telling you, darling, that it's pretty. I'm telling you, darling, that life is so good. Life is so good, girl. You are a pretty girl. You're a pretty girl. You're pretty. And life is excellent. Don't force it. I don't know what the weird wind sound effects were, but who fucking cares at this point, man? There are some more really creepy videos, like this one, for example, where it's like just straight up a Smartschoolboy9 video with, again, real children in the bastard video. I'll get to that one in a bit, but in chronological order, we'll start with this one where he talks about his girlfriend. Well, you know, his girlfriend. Since writing this, I have successfully asked a girl with whom I had a relationship between 2001 and 2007-ish to pretend to not knowing me, or to even say, oh, he was sometimes silly, but nothing too unflattering. Honestly, she, as a former child actor, and I knew and know a lot of famous people now in witness protection. We would continue to be asked every now and then about who they are. Neither she nor I will ever reveal who they are. They are, you'll be relieved to know, good people. The girl I refer to and I were told back in 2003 that we should one day consider saying that we had never met each other, should the disingenuous people asking us or others who knew or know too many questions continue. That is strategy and honesty, humorous aspects allowed. I don't do boring, I don't do dullard. We're not going to read this whole thing, you get the idea. Now there is a chance, here's the thing, there are two possibilities here. One, this is a real story and he's just fucking venting on his, on his Facebook, because he knows that there are thousands of people now who are going to read it, which definitely, you know, helps him in some way or another. I say helps. It has a different effect than it would if it was just, you know, to one or two people. Or two, he's just writing a bunch of bullshit, possibly even using AI just to write a bunch of bullshit to maybe throw people off or confuse them. It is definitely something he's done before when people message him. Yeah, he just, you know, sort of takes the piss, in my opinion. You know, and he knows there are a lot of, like, pseudo-psychologists online who are going to try to fucking psychoanalyze this bullshit, so it might just be fun to him. There is one post here about being lied about, and this is interesting because there's a chance that he could maybe be speculating or talking about some of the, I guess, supposed lies about Smartschoolboy9 and him, but then he says that this was years ago, so again, it could just be sort of throwing people off the scent or taking the piss once again, like me sitting here talking about it, theorizing, could be exactly what he wants. Like, he could be watching this video and fucking loving it. There's also a post here where he discusses his youthful appearance. I had an unusual and amusing conversation with someone very recently. He not only mistook me for someone else, a vast age difference, he then lied to me about resemblances and tried to fool me into playing along with the notion, possibly something of a thrill for him. Maybe he was playing the role of one of his Eliases, hoping that I might say that I myself even have time for that. See, again, 100% he's a big fan of Eliases, alters, that sort of thing. It's clear as day here. He also does this thing where he projects a lot, so when people message him, he'll say shit like, you're clearly an old man pretending to be a young boy and fucking loving it. Like, oh, you're clearly wanking as you message me, because he's probably doing the same thing. Like, when people message him and he pretends to be this young kid, calling them a, you know, a predator or whatever, he's getting some sort of sexual thrill out of that, without a doubt. But now let's go over that really strange video that features Princess Charlotte. Again, you know, an actual child. And he says that he hopes his vocals portray his awe and admiration. This is what I mean, like, he really did never leave. He's been right under our fucking noses doing the exact same shit the whole time. Maybe he's not simulating as much CP, but still not great. There's another video here featuring Princess Charlotte. He seems to have a weird obsession with this girl, which isn't surprising at all. We'll sort of divert away from his direct post now from the David London account and talk about interactions with him and other accounts that very well may be him. Most notably, there's an account called Lindsay Lane that's been going fucking crazy on Facebook. So here's someone on the 8th of December, again, this month, talking about how David was banned from a library, citing this comment here as proof. When I worked at the Doncaster Library years ago, he used to send up letters with strange requests as he wasn't allowed on the internet. He also wasn't allowed in the library itself. Apparently, it was usually a thing. They had me handle it once. It was very creepy, asking for a picture of a celebrity children and directions to clothing stores for children. Turns out he believes that he's a small child, but who knows what is actually going on. This was around 9 years ago, though. It being 9 years ago does not make it any less unlikely. There are various stories on Facebook accounts detailing people who look exactly like Smartschoolboy9, and very probably were Smartschoolboy9, like decades ago. I think 16 years ago one of them was. Talking about how they seen him in Tesco and like they described him to a T. Okay, so here's a TikTok I just found. Ignore this fucking bloke in the middle of it, but I can't find the original post. If you want to read it, then go ahead. I've read it before on this channel, but yeah, it's just, this is from years ago. What's the exact date? Is that 2019 maybe? I don't sound about right though. It might actually be 1999 or something like that. You can't see the rest of it, but I remember it being in the 90s. Like, I really do remember it being in the 90s, this story. So not even 16 years ago, probably more than that. But anyway, on this post, you have Lindsay Lane saying, David did not have internet at home, and he is not the person mentioned by the anonymous person. No library staff are even permitted to lie about customers. And again, that is an account called Lindsay Lane. You got this one out here, David Stansfield, which is an obvious fake in my opinion. Lindsay's obviously getting accused of being David himself, so she makes posts like this. Everyone is probably aware that Athena McLaughlin has numerous aliases and has falsely stated that David, who is not even on this page, is me, Lindsay. Do not believe such a blatant lie. Athena themselves said, no, I don't have numerous aliases. I only have a couple, so you do have numerous aliases. I don't fucking know what that whole thing's about. The point is, Lindsay is pissed. I'm pretty comfortable saying that this isn't a fucking real woman called Lindsay Lane. Is it David himself? Who really knows? But that's not it though. There is a lot more. This here is Lindsay saying that she's going to take legal action against these people for slandering her on a Facebook group chat with like 5 likes. Here's an anonymous poster telling David to stop contacting a girl called Keely. And again, Lindsay is in the comments yelling his defenses. An impersonator contacted David first. He knew it was not the real person for various reasons. The fact is she and David knew years ago how to know if it were really them. You got her arguing here, but this is information that obviously she would not know as a third party. Like, for her to know that this is absolutely true, she would probably have to be David himself. So again, the evidence is rather compelling, but then at the same time, why would he just sort of be giving it up like this? It might just sort of be some sick thrill, a bit more roleplay on his end, or total bullshit from some anonymous fucking freak pretending to be David once again. Or more specifically, pretending to be David, pretending to be a woman known as Lindsay Lane. Which I know sounds contrived, but is very fucking believable. Like, there are hundreds of people that would genuinely do such a thing and commit to it this much as well. Just because it's a bit contrived doesn't make it any less believable in my opinion. But all these people are fucking eating it up. Like, I probably would not even fucking bother responding to these people. There's no point. As though Lindsay one day is gonna go, oh, yeah, you're right, it's me, David. Here's another story here regarding Smartschoolboy9 in the 90s. Now, with stories like this, I tend to not believe them at all because, one, they were posted after the whole thing became such a huge craze and so viral. And when you combine that with there not being any fucking evidence for the story being true at all, it makes it very difficult to believe. There are hundreds of these stories being thrown about the internet and you just cannot believe all of them because undeniably, most of them are bullshit from people who just want a bit of attention. The reason why I believe that Tesco story so much is because it was made in the fucking 90s. There's no reason for someone to really lie about that and get the description so close to what he actually looks like in the videos unless it was actually a thing that happened because the story was not viral at all. No one knew who this fucking guy was. There was no reason to lie about him for clout or fame or, you know, a bit of like 5 minutes. The only reason you would make a post like that Facebook one in the 90s, I keep calling it a Facebook post. Facebook wasn't a thing in the 90s. It's not a Facebook post. It's some sort of post somewhere in like a chat room or something, you know what I mean? But there are tons of these stories. Here's 3 right here from people telling similar stories about Smartschoolboy9 or David Stansfield. I'll read one of them, not all of them, but they're all on screen right now. David Walter Alter, he stalked me, found photos of me in his flat when I was a child, ended up in court, let him off as his mental health, the man's a wrongin'. Again, I don't believe it because David Walter Alter, fuck off, that's not his name. That's not his name's not David Alter. If you went to court with him, you'd probably fucking know that. You'd also probably have some fucking evidence of it all. These screenshots here are from a video by a creator known as It's Rootster who made a video on Smartschoolboy9 recently. Just to give credit, here is his channel right here. So if you're feeling up to it, go show him some love. You got this lady here known as Sophie Claire who's talking about how David's deleting a bunch of messages, and by David, she is referring to Lindsay Lane. She sort of details what these messages include, but I think it's best to just look at the messages themselves. And bearing in mind that these are all deleted now. This is them denying that Smartschoolboy9 and David Stansfield are the same person. I'm not going to read this one because there's some quite flowery language, but it's very, very bad. So yeah, he's Kaioken times 10 weirdo going fucking insano style on these motherfuckers. Who, by the way, I am not like in love with. They are way too involved in this story, in fucking group chats about him, posting daily about Smartschoolboy9. You need to get a fucking life. You're not gonna find him. Stop talking to people you think are him. All you're doing, weirdly enough, is encouraging people to keep pretending to be him, or pretending to be him, pretending to be other people. Because you're the only you're giving it so much attention. Some random fucker on Facebook, whether they be in high school or come back home from a 9 to 5 and spend their days looking for Smartschoolboy9 or trying to message him online on multiple accounts. It's like, there's so many better things you could be doing with your time. This will amount to nothing. We get some more voice messages now though here, so that's interesting. Now this voice note is about someone called Rashi, but it was actually sent to someone who wasn't Rashi, which is interesting interesting for a number of reasons, but I'll play the voice note first.
Hi there. Sorry about this, Christina, but you have to pass a message on to that Rashi Campbell. I'm trying to remain calm here. Now, Rashi has said that I'm editing photos of children. That schoolboy does his own videos. As far as I know, he sends them to Veronica and to someone else for her to post. That is the arrangement. I'm not editing any photos of children. She's still lying about me. I'm getting very angry, and I do not know what to do. Could you please send this message to Rashi?
So this confirms that David is in fact in and amongst these Facebook groups, looking at them probably fucking daily, probably wanking over them. Let's be so real here. He loves that these people are talking about him and hate him so much, but can't actually catch him. He loves that they think they're doing something so clever and just, when in reality they're a bunch of fucking idiots, just feeding into his delusion, feeding into exactly what he wants. And he's sending that voice message there, not genuinely trying to convince people that he isn't Smartschoolboy9 or he isn't editing these photos. He knows that no one is going to believe him. He's just stirring the pot. He wants reactions from these people. He loves these Facebook groups. Yet another reason why there's so many better things you could be doing with your time, because you're not even harming him. I'd say these amount to nothing. It's not nothing. It's bad. He loves this shit. And we've known this from the very fucking beginning. He loves it. He loves it when people talk about him. He loves it when people are scared of him, when people are theorizing, and they take it so seriously. He adores it. In an ideal world, there would be no Facebook group. There would be nothing. No one would acknowledge that he even exists apart from the police. Because, like I said, not only does he expect no one to believe him, but it is true. He is doing those things. He is editing pictures of actual children. In previous videos, you've seen it, man. They're like videos of children in school on websites that he just rips from the websites and puts like AI filters over. A lot of them, he makes AI sort of CP over them. He puts a lot of them in like compromising positions with AI, with his collages. And it's very inappropriate. It's very scary. If you're a mother or a sibling or anything along those lines, and you have a child who might have ended up in one of those collages and one of those videos and one of these fucking 6 Smartschoolboy9 related bits of media, you would be livid. You would be fucking irate. And that goes to everyone who's saying that it's just sort of a harmless ARG or just sort of a cosplayer or someone like a troll, basically, because there are a lot of those people coming out the woodworks now, sort of forgetting that the genesis of this whole thing is a genuinely really serious story of a sick, deranged motherfucking creep who does need to be stopped, but not like this, and not by these people. Speaking of which, there's another very similar voice message from David saying that he's not a young boy.
Hello, Rashi. How are you doing? Right. So, you're not at the police station. Well, I've just chatted with someone senior, but we think you're just messing about. You're a bit bored. It's a bank holiday weekend. You're chatting to Darren.
See, this is what I mean, man. He's just completely taking the piss. This Rashi Campbell fella has no idea what they're actually doing. They think they're uncovering something super secret here. They think they're exposing the real truth about him, but they're just a pawn. Like, they really are just a pawn in his fucking sick game. The best thing he could do is completely ignore this, leave the group chat, and fucking live a normal life, because then he'd be sat there like, I've been ignored. Like, I've thrown this bone over to them, waiting for this whole eclipse, and I've been completely fucking ignored. But no, he's been given exactly what he wants, unfortunately. It's just occurred to me now, by the way, he's definitely on these group chats as someone investigating the case. Like, if there is someone who knows suspiciously a little bit too much about him and is uncovering some crazy secrets, it could very well just be David Stansfield on another account, just talking about himself. I don't know if you guys have seen that documentary, Don't F With Cats. It's a pretty old documentary at this point. It's like a few years back. Very famous, though. And the killer, the perpetrator, is literally in the group chats giving people clues, telling people where he might be, telling people who he is, but just as someone, like, anonymous or, you know, an alias. David could very well be doing that. In fact, he probably fucking is. Like, these Facebook fuckers think they're in, like, a proper board meeting in a police station, when in reality, that board meeting has the actual criminal in a, I don't know, a Halloween outfit, and no one notices that he's there, and he's sat there going, oh yeah, I think he actually might live in London, you know? Oh, I also have this voice message from him. Get a load of this. this. It's like, we have no idea who any of these people... It's also a board meeting where the police have no idea who each other is. Imagine what kind of fucking police force would that be? Like, you know, a police station where no one knows anyone.
Right, we all know about him, don't we? Hey? Trying to pretend to be a young Swiss girl. Yeah, I'll just tell you this. I've told you before, I am not the young boy. Don't post photos and send them to Christina of the young boy who's face to the camera in his new video. It's a really cool video, and he's wearing some sort of summer wear in some garden. It's a nice video. It's great. It's not me, genuinely. You can tell by my voice that it's not me. He has a completely different voice. But you, Rashi Campbell, the criminal paedophile, you don't want to face facts. You want to make things up. You want to be sure that we don't make things up about you and Darren. That could put you in jail. We won't do that. We don't do that because you need mental health help, not to be locked up in some jail, you know? So get the help you need.
Oh, interesting. He actually unsent that message as it was reaching the end. Again, throwing bones, trying to be mysterious. He loves this shit, man. But again, in that voice message, you can see some sort of projection there, calling him a criminal, you know, predator. Doesn't need jail, just needs mental health help. We know that David is in the mental hospital. We don't know that, but there is a chance that he is in the mental hospital. But you can see as well, like, he knows all the names of the people in these group chats. He's really acclimated himself within the community. You know, it's not as though these people aren't doing huge things here. Like, this isn't just a light thing they've done for a few weeks. This has been all year round. These people have been posting about him. I don't know if this guy has an actual fucking job, or if he works from home, or if he's self-employed, or if he has or if he's just on benefits or some shit like that. Like, no one really knows anything about this guy, really. But whatever he is doing, he definitely spends a large portion of his time in these groups loving it. Just fucking with people. You know, most people in their spare time, maybe they play an instrument, they learn a language, they make videos, take photos or something like that. This guy doesn't do that. He makes collages of children, he makes simulated CP, and he fucks with people trying to investigate him. Again, like in that video, he doesn't genuinely expect anyone to believe that he is being truthful. When he says that the lassie in a sundress or whatever isn't actually him, but it is a very nice video, but it's not him, you can tell by his voice. Obviously, I'm presuming that the original video is them in like a fucking girl's wig or whatever with the makeup on, acting like a child, or almost pretending to pretend to be a child at this point, and putting on that really shitty sort of high-pitched voice. There's no way that David actually believes people are going to be convinced by that. He's taking the piss once again. Like, this is some carrot on a stick type shit. And you've got this top contributor, Sarah Fieldstan, who's just vehemently defending David. Smartschoolboy9 is 9 years old. David London is hero for defending these children from predators. Even if Smartschoolboy9 was 9 years old, they were 9-year-old over a year ago. So, do they age? Are they just fucking, are they like Ash Ketchum? Look at me, like, trying to actually fucking detective this shit. It's all bullshit. As soon as I read Fieldstan, I knew it was him. You don't know fucking anything. That sounded really actually mean and vile, but it's true. You don't know anything. This is so easily just a fucking random troll pretending to be him. You don't think anyone on the internet is sick enough to make this post and pretend like to acting as though they're him so that people give them a sick thrill as well? David is not the only people with this fucking weird fetish. There are probably hundreds of thousands of people out there with it, which is a terrifying thought, but nonetheless true. Okay, we're actually going to quote directly from the It's Rooster video. There's a very interesting chapter here called Sock Puppet Accounts, where someone who is running a TikTok page where they post very, I guess, critical videos of Smartschoolboy9, for lack of a better word, is giving a statement, and It's Rooster does a very good job editing over this statement and making it clear what the girl is talking about. So I'll play that right now. But again, go show some love to this YouTuber. They've done a great job.
I'm gonna let Unscrupulous Person explain the sock puppet accounts and her experiences of personally dealing with David.
David has been interacting with the account, I would say, for about 5-6 months. The bigger it got, the more he interacted. Get around 10-20 comments from him a day. The two accounts that he portrays on TikTok, one of them is a Jamaican child, I believe, from the language that he chooses to use. Vicky Soul, the profile picture is Peas, which I can link to Peas, another one of his accounts. And then we've got another young school girl on the No Pervs Allowed account who he's acting as, just like his main alias, Stephanie. People ask me all the time, why after a year am I still chasing the case? And the short answer to that is so people are aware. I just want children online to stay safe. I want families to know what's going on. People have made David a walking, talking joke, but from my point of view, if this was my kid, my sister, my brother, my niece, who is being targeted by David, you know, David was editing photos of them, I would be absolutely horrified, fucking horrified. This man is literally taking pictures from school websites, TikTok, Instagram, editing them and then posting them around like social media. You've got pictures of edited kids that are half kid, and it's like he's handing them around like it's a picture of a fucking dog. Like it's cheese pizza, it's not. Another thing that I want to talk about is Lindsay Lane on Facebook. Lindsay Lane is one of his new aliases, might I say, who he poses as on Facebook. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really check up on the Facebook group, it's full of shit, but I have seen a few comments and posts that Lindsay Lane has made. I'm just going to finish off by saying that any other person who would be caught doing this would vanish off the face of the earth. They would not stay on social media, but this is what people need to understand. When people say to him, you're a pedophile, he enjoys that probably. That's what I think anyway. But thank you for the support and thank you, Lyle, for letting me be in this documentary.
Again, big up to It's Rooster. We might go back to that video in a second because it is very good. And I can hear they're Scottish as well, so extra bigger. I love your country, brother. Fucking great. So, unscrupulous person on TikTok, this is them here. You can see they published no content, which is strange. There definitely was content here before. I'm not sure if they've either been deleted or maybe TikTok is just being fucking weird because the desktop version of TikTok can be fucking ridiculous at times. But either which way, we weren't really going to look at any of the videos either. The whole point is that this is a girl who is investigating the case and trying to sort of raise awareness about the whole thing. You can see here the Vicky Soul 5 account, trying to impersonate a Jamaican child. Not even the right peas, by the way. Rice and peas is a bean, actually. But again, I'm sure that's all part of the shit stirring. And then this is the No Pervs Allowed 2 account, which is, these are the two accounts that that they were referencing here, Unscrupulous Person. Now, I don't know if this person actually has evidence that these accounts are David, or if their only evidence is that these accounts are vehemently defending him. If that is the only piece of evidence, then as much as it very well might be him, we don't know for sure. Like, you cannot say without a doubt that it is him. There are so many people out there, once again, that are very willing to impersonate David defending himself, or impersonate David pretending to not be David defending David, if that makes sense. It's a little weird, but you know what I mean. It's not a hard thing to do, and there are a lot of people who definitely get a fucking thrill out of it. You know, in the same way, like she said correctly, by the way, that when people call David a predator, he enjoys that. He's not the only one. There are so many people who also enjoy that sort of thing. Here are some of the comments that No Pervs Allowed was posting. I'm not going to read them all, of course, but there's a lot of these. Again, you got TikTokers here talking about, you realize how much of a terrible person you are. We know it's you. You're attempting to hurt and traumatize young children. Like, when you say shit like, we know it's you, they know that you think it's going to be them. They know that people think that they're David Stansfield. Which, especially, by the way, if there actually isn't David and it is some random on the internet pretending to be David, pretending to be someone else, they are really gonna love that their plan is working to a fucking T. Okay, next is the whole Jeff saga, which is also a super interesting part of this whole thing. Also slightly covered in previous videos in the voice message section. And it's all in regards to a man known as Jeff Morrell. I'll play the video that we have seen on this channel before that mentions Jeff.
Hi. Hi.
Hello? I don't know. I really don't know. It's like she's sick in the head. I think it's a guy. She says Christina Parker. It could, you know the nonce that kept texting you. Ask Jeff. Where's he gone? Ask him. Hello? Of course, obviously, you're not going to call back. I dare you. Call me back. Make a phone call. Who are you? I'll ring you. Don't worry about it.
So interesting as well that he mentions a Christina Parker, and in videos just a month ago, he's also mentioning Christina Parker. So this fucking Christina Parker lassie has been on this shit for ages now. You really need to you have to touch grass. Like, this is obsessive. It's not healthy. Even Unscrupulous Person said that the fucking Facebook account is full of shit, like those Facebook group chat, and they're so right, by the way. But anyway, you can hear he mentioned someone by the name of Jeff in that voice note. Now, originally, you'd be forgiven for thinking that Jeff is just some miscellaneous name name that was picked once again to stir shit, to confuse people, right? To act as though there is more to this story than there actually is. But when you look at things, it becomes a bit more interesting, right? And there is a chance that he is, again, just fabricating shit or taking a story that happened a couple of years back and linking it to himself in a roundabout way when realistically he might have had nothing to do with it. But this here is a post from Stephanie Schooley. I'll read it out now. This may sound shocking to some, but if Jeff Morrell is still around, he should be given the chance to say something. What we all must bear in mind is this: we were not present when what he was accused of is said to have happened. One of my relatives was a pupil at Stockwell Manor School from 1974 to 79. At no time did he see Mr. Morrell do or say anything wrong. The only criticism would be that Mr. Morrell, when challenged by a boy aged 12 at the time to play wrestle, because the boy loved sport and the wrestling that was on TV in the 1970s more than anything remotely academic. Mr. Morrell should have set boundaries. Father then let the boy push and shove him, and consequently, Mr. Morrell having to restrain the boy with upper body, decent restraining only. A silly show of teacher's pride in not wanting to be humiliated by the boy could have led others to thinking that Mr. Morrell could be exploited, plus the fact that being gay back then would have been very, very difficult, even if just one or two, and then it sort of cuts off there, but you just get the idea. I think it's very important to actually learn who Jeff Morrell is, otherwise it doesn't really make much sense. You can sort of guess a little bit, but here's an article from The Independent from 2010, by the way. Teacher jailed for 1970s schoolboy sex acts. You can hear again. A teacher who sexually abused two teenage schoolboys in the 1970s was jailed for 3.5 years today. Only 3.5 years, fuck me. However, when you take David Stansfield's actual age into account, which is around 60 years old, a lot of people are speculating that that David Stansfield, aka Smartschoolboy9, was one of the boys that Jeff Morrell had abused back in the 1970s, which would, to an extent, help explain some of the behavior that we are seeing today. It definitely wouldn't fucking excuse it, but it would make some sense because a lot of people who are interested in this sort of thing, a lot of predators, were preyed upon themselves, and they're sort of continuing this vicious, abusive cycle. Jeff Morrell, 65, was found guilty to 12 counts of sexual assault involving two pupils aged 14 and 15, committed over a period of 2 years. Yeah, again, the ages line up. Insane, about 12 counts and only 3.5 fucking years. And like 40 years after the assault happened, by the way. Just insanity in its purest form. This was in South London, according to this article here, which is also interesting because a lot of people claim that Smartschoolboy9 was in Doncaster, maybe as a child they were in London. Who really knows? Because at the end of the day, who really knows if Smartschoolboy9 was one of those kids? There are definitely a lot of children who were sexually assaulted in the 1970s. We don't even know if David Stansfield or Smartschoolboy9 was a victim in the past. Now, there is actually a little bit more evidence as to it maybe being David Stansfield, however, and this is compelling. I'll go back to the It's Rooster video because he explains it very well.
In reality, Jeff Morrell was already on record in 1984. He was convicted of an essay offence and placed on a teacher's register. The article states he'd often keep two pupils back for detention and that's where things happen behind closed doors. Back in 2019, David actually made another post referencing Jeff again, this time through an account called Zia Patel, which can actually be traced back to a real teacher who taught at Stockwell Manor School. In this post,
and this here, the Stansfield account, was in 2019, before this went viral. So you'd be forgiven for thinking, and there is quite compelling, that David does have some relation to this school where the assault took place. Which, when you look at his behavior, it increases the chances massively that he was one of those victims. And maybe this is all some weird, fucked up coping mechanism in one way or another. Like, it really does open the doors a lot. Like, this person claiming to be Zia Patel, which is a teacher that can be traced, not a coincidence, definitely not. Claims to have a friend called Stephanie Stansfield who's 12. This is all 2019. It's like either this is David himself or David has looked or found this really niche story and made references to it over the years, hoping that people would come to the conclusion that he was one of these victims. Which is absolutely possible, by the way. Like, once again, as compelling as it is not 100% proof by any means.
In this post, they recall that their half-brother David was often publicly embarrassed and singled out by Jeff in class, and that he had never truly recovered from the experience. If those theories are true, it might give us some insight into why David so heavily fixates on school and the uniforms, but let's be
And yeah, you can see it there. This supposed Zia Patel even says that someone called David was one of these victims. Would definitely be a huge fucking coincidence for it not to be him if all of this is true. But you know, we know that David's been Smartschoolboy9 for decades now, so this could easily be roleplay. You know what? I don't think it can easily be roleplay, but it could be roleplay.
David so heavily fixates on school and the uniforms. But let's be very clear here. This does not excuse David's behavior over the years, and he still needs to be held accountable. To quickly add onto the Joanne Tang situation, I popped the phrase Joanne Tang into Google and was met with titles using Joanne Tang's name in disturbing video titles, claiming to be uploaded by Smartschoolboy9. I'm not sure if David was the person who uploaded.
Yeah, they definitely weren't. That's definitely some other sort of predator, some weird predatorial group chat. Definitely on Telegram, like I said before. Like, there are hundreds of Telegram group chats where Joanne Tang is probably being passed around, which is extra awful because Joanne Tang is a real person who has made statements before, like, regarding the whole thing. She's posted on the Reddit. I believe in my second or third video about Smartschoolboy9, I go over her testimony and how it's affected her. And for videos of her to be uploaded to pornographic websites, whether even if it's fucking AI, it's like, man, people who think this is just a troll or something not to be taken seriously, you're fucking idiots. And you can see David London himself here commenting that they were just play wrestling. Seems to really be defending this guy. Again, I'm not sure if this is actual real defense, like he genuinely believes it wasn't a big deal, or if he is saying this knowing that people are going to see him defending them and think that maybe it's some sort of fucking cope response. There's so many, it's very difficult to psychoanalyze the mind of a sick fucking psychopathic freak like Smartschoolboy9. You've got David London here saying nothing to do with me, was never my teacher, never had any contact with him, so stop the bull. And then fucking just look at these people. James Giant Bull. David London, you definitely had some contact going on because he touched you in secret places, and someone thumbs up that. Nice post. Secret places. I love pedophilia. Don't take that out of context, by the way. And David says, you're quite a fantasist. Stay away from schools for sure. Fucking Carl. David London, I know you miss him, David. These people are freaks. These people are freaks. This is why no one likes this Facebook group chat. Even people who are deeply invested in holding him accountable fucking despise this shit because it's all a bunch of bullshit. And they're fucking losers. Like, these people are losers. You got someone here who claims to be a therapist that specializes in behavioral analysis. They give a theory about what the fuck is going on here with David. My wild card here is that David has a dissociative disorder in the form of being detached with reality. Seems David is stuck reliving a very particular age and part of life. Our brains will convince us of amazing things while trying to protect us. It's very clear David's IQ is also low. However, he is able to explain quite precisely when he wants. But those messages are usually full of delusions of grandeur, of example, for example, saying Instagram allows other accounts from different dimensions to exist. Yeah, I don't think that is delusion. I think that's him fucking with us. My second wild card here is what are the chances he was assaulted as a kid or lost a child and is cosplaying growing up as the child he lost? I think the chances he was assaulted as a kid are genuinely rather high. End of the day though, who even knows if this is a real fucking psychologist or therapist? It's just a Facebook account who's made that one post and is in one group, which happens to be the Smartschoolboy9 one. You know, you'd think maybe they'd be in some other group if they were like a psychologist who used Facebook, right? But no, it's just that. Seems they made that account specifically to make that post, so who fucking really knows? Again, that could easily be David himself who just found some random fucker online and made a profile picture out of them. And at the end of the day, it doesn't really excuse anything like at all. I guess the last thing we'll look at is one of the many speculated new channels in It's Rooster's video. I think that this is rather unconfirmed, but if he has any compelling evidence that it might genuinely be him on YouTube, then I want to hear it.
A schoolboy. I'm 9 years of age. Despite what you might have heard from perverts and those and people making fun of.
Most of these clips follow the same script of mentioning the year and month or season.
It's late summer in year 2025.
This is how chronically online I am. This is how fucking invested I was in this case back in the day. Is that I recognize all these videos. Like, these are old videos from over a year ago, like last year for sure. And these are from the YouTube channel Smartschoolgirl9, which It's Rooster mentions here.
Smartschoolgirl9 is David's latest active YouTube channel. He had one before that was wiped, but this one has surfaced very recently. The channel started with videos uploaded in Russian titles for some reason, but it includes content posted this year from January to as recent as November 2025.
Hi there, how are you? It is summer.
Yeah, like this, like, I don't think this is him. I think this is an account that has just found really obscure videos of the situation. Because I remember this video. This video is from last year. This isn't a new account that is posting brand new videos that are never seen anywhere else. It could very easily just be a re-upload channel. By the way, this is not throwing shade at It's Rooster. I actually think he's done a fucking great job here. And I do like this video, and I've looked at his channel as well. He makes fucking great videos, so I'm not chatting shit here at all. I just disagree that you can say definitively that this is a new channel of his. It might be. It might be. He might just be re-uploading old content, but I personally would lean towards this being just one of the many people impersonating him.
But what's interesting is his latest video uploaded, which isn't a short, called, This, which translates to November 1st, 2025. In this 4.5 minute of David rambling, he calls out pervs and who have been making fake documentary videos about him. He then goes on to explain that so-called experts have been experimenting in Birmingham.
And yet, almost 500 people said that they had seen that person in either of the Birminghams.
This is the first time I've ever heard of this, and honestly, it just sounds like he's made this up on the spot.
Yeah, I remember that video as well. I had a lot of people send me this when it happened, and this is actually from this year. I don't know if it's possible to trace back exactly where this video came from, but if you really can, if the first time this video was seen was on that Smartschoolboy9 account, then absolutely it is him. I think I remember the original link being, it was definitely on YouTube, but I don't know if it was on this account, because I didn't make a video on it. And this is what I really like about this video, actually, is that, like, he does provide a lot of evidence for this shit. He's not an idiot, It's Rooster. Again, definitely go show him some love.
The scammers gave a false name and age for the lyric writer, saying that he's 59, and then saying that I'm somehow 59. It's quite sick.
I absolutely agree with him, by the way, that it does sound as though he's making shit up on the spot. I think he probably is just making shit up on the spot, by the way. This is not a real story. This is not an actual concern in his life. He's just made up a weird, contrived story to get people talking about him again. I think that pretty much is all I have to talk about in this video. We can't go over every little intricate fucking detail, every post, unless I get enough demand for it, in which case, yeah, we'll talk about this case some more. But in terms of big, like, things that have happened in 2025, huge developments, that is pretty much all of it. I know a lot of you probably found out about my channel or subscribed through my initial Smartschoolboy9 videos, so hopefully you enjoyed this one as much as you remember enjoying the first couple ones. I know they're not exactly the most, you know, fun-filled, enjoyable, comedy, laughable videos in the world, but regardless, I hope you get something out of these, right, if you know what I mean, whether it be information or a laugh every now and then for levity. At the end of it all, though, I think that is the end of the video, so hopefully you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and subscribe to the channel again, and then another time after that, because if you do it twice, it'll just unsubscribe. So 3 times, you sub, unsub, and then you sub again. That's pretty cool. But I think that's pretty much it. So, yeah, I will catch you all in the next one. Bye.